Yes, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. I hope we are well. Yeah, in the previous session, we talked about how you have to go back to God and find a purpose. Now, as you begin to engage with God to find out, God is not just going to come and tell you, God is just not going to come and tell you that, hey, do this. No, God does not work like that. No. But there are very many ways in which things are going to begin to play out. The meditations, the thoughts that are going to come to you. There is a way things are going to begin to play out, leading you to that perfect will of God concerning your life. It is not automatic that it will just come like this. No. There is a way events begin to lead you. And one thing I've realized that purpose happens in phases. You understand? It happens in phases. And for example, I'm going to give an example of someone, for example, that is in the arena of leadership and politics, for example. If God has called you into the political space to serve Him in the arena of politics, you'll find that way back in the early elementary days of your life, for example, in primary, secondary, university, you'll find that there is a way you used to take up leadership roles. Or for you, it may not happen like that, but somehow you'll find that there is a way you entered government and elevations started coming. You understand? Now, oftentimes when people don't know that it is God elevating them and calling them to the higher place, what they oftentimes do when they reach there, systems corrupt them. But when you know early that God has called me into this arena, God has called me to serve Him in this field, you'll be very intentional, even with the decisions you make, the people you make, how you engage with the policies, how you engage with all the things that happen in that space. You'll be very deliberate, even in how you will make your choices, because you know that God has a destiny with your life in the area of leadership governance that you don't want to waste. So you'll be very deliberate. But back to what we're talking about. When I oftentimes say that purpose happens in phases, it actually begins with, you have to look back in your life. You have to look back in your life and see the events that have been happening in your life. You always have to look back. For example, how do you know that God had called Joseph into the space of he was a businessman, first of all, but God had called him into governance. You know that? So how do you know that God had called him into that field? How? You look at the events that kept on playing over his life. You see, the story kept on building. That was purpose, but it was God was leading a man in a certain course. It started interplaying out slowly, until the bigger phase of it happened. He reached the pinnacle of his life and things started blowing out. But hadn't those things happened, David would not have woken up one day and he was having that leadership position he was having. He was advising the biggest man in the nation at that material time. Look at David. God way back, because this is a God that tags purpose on a man's life even before that man is born. David was a young man, but he was in the field looking after a flock of his father. But he didn't know that God had called him to be a what? But the way God dealt with him while he was in that field, while he was still in the shambas looking after the sheep, God was dealing with him. God was making the king out of him. The whole training somehow, because at that material time David didn't know, and even if he tried to connect the dots at that time, things were not going to make sense. But God always gives a man an opportunity to showcase. He always gives him an opportunity. So time came and he had to face the Goliath, and the thing started working out. So I implore you, sometimes you have to look back in the events of your life. There is a gentleman, you may be 40, 35, 20, 30 years, and you're confused about the thing life. You're scared to take up the next step of your life. Sometimes sit back and see how have things played out. How has my life been patterned in the last 25, 30 years? And to keep it open before God. You understand? That is how God leads people. Until that very day, He will say, now this is the day to manifest. Because as we shall talk in the coming sessions, you will discover that before the pinnacle of your purpose, before the manifestation of everything, there is always a preparation phase that you have to undergo. You understand? Why did you go to that primary school you went to? Why were you born in that particular family? Some people don't love their families. Most people are not happy with their families. They don't like their parents, they don't like their brothers, their sisters, they just don't like everything around them. Why? Because when they look at their other friends, they feel like they would have been better had they been born in those families, if they had had a connection with those people. But that is wrong. God intended that you are born in that particular family. God intended that you go to that particular school. You get me? So until you find a reconciliation of those things, it is when they'll make meaning to you. Otherwise, you'll keep hating yourself until the day you leave this life. You will, and it's a very sad thing. So learn to appreciate the environments in which you grew up from. Learn to appreciate the people around you. Appreciate your parents. Appreciate the events that have happened in your life. You understand? Because that is how God merges up experiences that are going to be relevant in the stages of your life that are actually more fulfilling. You understand? So that is how connections to a life that is fulfilling. You find yourself, you're very good at singing. Look into the gifts, tap into the gifts God has given you, the talents. I don't know, these days people don't want to talk about those things. They don't want. People want to manifest very fast. I know a story of a lady. That lady amazed me so much. She was selling pancakes here in Uganda. But she became a millionaire because time reached when people from abroad are the ones that were buying her pancakes. Can you believe they were shipping pancakes from Uganda to be sold to the foreign markets on orders? You understand? People no longer want to talk about their gifts. People just want faster things. And it's a dangerous thing because you miss out on the most important phases of your life, the phases of preparation. You miss out. You don't get connected to the inner you. because the purpose of your life is deeply connected to you. There is something that you, when you do it, nobody in this world is going to do it. There will never be another version of you if you do not live your full potential. It will never be there. So be deliberate to draw from within you. Be deliberate to tap from the inside of you and appreciate you. Because there is something that if it comes out of it, it's going to feed the world. It is going to make this world a better place. Appreciate that. Bring that out. Because that is what the world needs. Hello? That's what the world needs. People no longer want to talk about their gifts. They no longer want to talk about their potentials. They no longer want. They just want to just come and manifest. No. No. All of us have been endowed differently by our Creator. All of us. All of us. But if you don't go deep down there to draw from yourself, there are numerous stories, if we sit right now, I can tell you, of men who found themselves inside or with God that blessed the world. This thing is very broad. It is very broad. I don't think you're just going to do it. No. So I encourage you, look around your life. Look around your life. That is after you've prayed to God. I told you you're not going to pray to God and God comes and tells you, now, for you, you're a president. No, God doesn't work like that. You're going to go through phases. You're going to go through phases. You all know very well, when a woman gets pregnant, she doesn't give birth immediately. She goes through that process of 9 months before she delivers. So do not skip the processes of your life. Do not skip anything. You have to go through that story. You have to go through that event because they shape you, they mold you, such that on the day of reckoning, you're the right man for that job. So that, if you understand that, you will appreciate and desire to engage in every event that happens in your life. You will. Some, they have not found purpose to their marriages. I think we shall talk about those in the sessions to come, because they don't like their spouses. If someone thinks, if I'd married another person, I would have been better. And that's wrong. That's wrong. So look, having prayed to God, look at the events that have happened in your life, connect the thoughts that come to your heart, the ideas. Don't just drop those things. Right in there is hidden potential that is waiting for fulfillment. All right? Take them serious. Take them serious. Take them serious. Take them serious. Thank you so much. Let's take a break. We'll definitely be right back.